Hi there, my name is Tomaj, and in this video guide we'll be covering the third boss in Master Mode Deepstrike Mines, Bonehew the Thunderer. Please keep in mind that this information is from the 1.5 public test chart, and any or all information may become outdated, incorrect, or even obsolete in the future. This video also assumes familiarity of the encounter in both normal and expert modes of Deepstrike Mines. Bonehew the Thunderer is actually almost exactly like he is in the expert version of the instance, so most of what you'll already be aware of is more or less the same. There is one new mechanic, however, that everyone must be aware of in order to make sure you're not making this encounter more difficult than it needs to be. He is still quite fond of his knockbacks and melee range stuns, so be aware of these, especially as he can and will cast seismic disturbance on players that are stunned. This fight is definitely more about strategy and survival than it is about damage, but your healer and support will need to be on their toes as well. Seismic Disturbance, the big bubble debuff you see on people, does increase damage versus the expert mode counterpart, both to the player it's on as well as everyone else around them. However, with a new twist on this ability, it must be dropped off somewhere in a convenient location. The reason is that once the debuff falls off, it will leave a glowing red bubble that continues to deal damage within the bubble. The easiest way to deal with this is to set a predetermined location, ideally at the top of the ramp leading up to the platform, to drop the bubbles off. Since these last about 30 seconds or so after the fact, it's important that your party members don't stand near the top of the ramp, so as to give people room to drop the next ones off without killing everyone else in the process. We did find it easiest to tank the boss in the middle of the platform, so that melee don't have to run quite as far to drop the bubble off, and can get back into action sooner. As a bonus, it's easier to see when the boss goes to the edge for his ground pound. Well, assuming you can manage a camera angle where you can see the boss to begin with. The tank is still a valid target for the bubble though, so the best way to deal with it in this case is to have him drop it off in a convenient location along the edge of the platform. If you can get it to the ramp, even better. However, your tank will still need to ensure that the boss is well out of range of the bubble, so melee don't have to deal with the knockbacks as well, or the bubble damage. Of course, at 50%, the boss will split into two, so you'll need to focus each half individually just as you would on Expert. There are then two bubbles to be dealing with, so be aware of your surroundings, and don't stand in each other's bubbles. It's a fairly straightforward and simple encounter, but can be a task to heal through the damage from Seismic Disturbance. It's quite likely that it's possible to solo heal, but I'd still recommend a support healer if you aren't quite sure.